Okay, this is workbook lesson number 131. No one can fail who seeks to reach the truth. All we got to do is seek for the truth. We have to plant that seed, and we just say to ourselves, beyond everything in this world, beyond my strife, beyond my successes, I want to know the truth. And we plant that seed, all will start to fall into place. No one can fail who seeks to reach the truth. So then Spirit gives us a little motivation here. Failure is all about you while you seek for goals that cannot be achieved. Now, why can't they be achieved? Because nothing in time and space exists. We may set the goal to work our way up the corporate ladder or set the goal to, you know, lose 10, 20, 30 pounds or whatever. And it may seem like we attain them, but we got to put this whole thing in perspective. Remember, there's a beyond this world I see, there is a truth, a world that I want. And that's why in the yoga practice, in all we do, the primary goal must be peace. This is a huge, huge leap where we just say, okay, maybe you got a bucket list. Maybe you got all these things you want to accomplish and all these things you want to do. Above all else, I want peace. See how that matches with seek ye first the kingdom of heaven, and all else will be added unto you. That's the key. The all else are miracles, not me striving and trying to get my way. No matter how successful I become in the world, I'll always have this feeling of lack and uncertainty and emptiness. And actually, because the whole time I'm usurping God's power or believing that I can, there's a guilt, there's a feeling of guilt behind all worldly success. That's why failure is all about you while you seek for goals that cannot be achieved. So join me in this moment and plant the seed for peace. It's the same as saying, I want to know God. It's the same as saying, I'm seeking the kingdom of heaven. I want to know my deepest, most peaceful sense of capital S, self. You look for permanence in the impermanent. You look for love where there is none, and for safety in the midst of danger. Immortality within the darkness of the dream of death. Oh my gosh, that's pretty clear, right? I mean, we try to preserve our lives and, in a way, seek for immortality where it doesn't exist. Who could succeed where contradiction is the setting of his searching and the place to which he comes to find stability? Pretty futile. Paragraph 2. Goals that are meaningless are not attained. There is no way to reach them, for the means by which you strive for them are meaningless as they are. Who can use such senseless means and hope through them to gain in anything? Where can they lead? And what could they achieve that offers any hope of being real? And what is real? That which is changeless, formless, perfect, and eternal. Pursuit of the imagined leads to death because it is the search for nothingness. And while you seek for life, you ask for death. See, there's the massive contradiction. It's a world of dualities where there is a cost to everything. You name it, no matter how good, there's a cost to it. Maybe that's what's behind the idea, no good deed goes unpunished. You know, even a do-gooder and the idea of doing good deeds is punished because you think you're accomplishing something and yet you remain on the treadmill of the the treadmill of the illusion, the massive death wish of the ego. It's like rearranging the deck chairs of the Titanic. You look for safety and security, while in your heart you pray for danger and protection for the little dream you made. See, so that line in a way is like what? I look for safety, while in my heart I pray for danger and protection for the little dream I made. That's the contradiction. I'm looking for safety where it can't be found. And if I stay on the surface of my thoughts and my worldly goals and desires, then I never get to the underlying belief that I'm choosing against my absolute uh, promised and guaranteed safety as a child of God. Yet searching is inevitable here. For this you came. Okay, so it's acknowledging this is the wish of the ego. It came to find something that doesn't exist. For this you came, and you will surely do the thing you came for. But the world cannot dictate the goal for which you search, unless you give it power to do so. We hang our own carrot in front of ourselves. That's the thing. We look for something and we make the something, or we make the difficulty, we make the challenge as we're looking for it. It is truly a treadmill. But the world cannot dictate the goal for which you search unless you give it the power to do so. Otherwise, you still are free to choose a goal that lies beyond the world and every worldly thought, and one that comes to you from an idea relinquished yet remembered, old yet new, an echo of a heritage forgot, and yet holding everything you really want. That is the holy instant. It's the memory of heaven. Be glad that search you must. Be glad as well to learn you search for heaven, and you must find the goal you really want. We always find what we're looking for. Even if we don't realize we're looking for emptiness, we will find emptiness. But wait a minute, I want to find everything. Let me not look outside myself. No one can fail to want this goal and reach it in the end. God's Son cannot seek vainly. Though he try to force delay, deceive himself and think that it is hell he seeks, when he is wrong he finds correction. When he wanders off, he is led back to his appointed task. So Spirit's just saying here, yes, you wished and wanted a made-up world outside of heaven. We call it a dream. And naturally, you're going to be looking for purpose. You're going to be looking for meaning. It's normal to desire. At the core of the whole problem is either the desire for separation and difference or the desire for joined oneness and sameness. That goal is, and that prayer is at the heart of our beingness. It either defines a world of separation or it defines perfect oneness. And so whenever we wander off, we're naturally, Spirit's going to catch the correction. If we give the error up to Spirit, especially, then it's corrected instantaneously and we're guided back on the right path. No one remains in hell, for no one can abandon his Creator, nor affect his perfect, timeless, and unchanging love. You will find heaven. Everything you seek but this will fall away, yet not because it has been taken from you. It will go because you do not want it. I plant the seed to know God. I I pray to to resonate and have the experience of heaven. And I realize the world I see doesn't hold what I want. You will reach the goal you really want as certainly as God created you in sinlessness. I love this line. I use this a lot. Paragraph 6. Why wait for heaven? It is here today. Time is the great illusion. It is past or in the future. Yet this cannot be, if it is where God wills his Son to be. How could the will of God be in the past or yet to happen? Yeah. How could eternity be in the future? How could the ever-present power of now be anywhere else but now? And let's get clear, now is not a little slice of time. It's not ignoring one thing and ignoring the distractions and just being in a certain task. No, it could be a step in the right direction. But now is the closest approximation we have to eternity. It's a state of mind. What he wills, what God wills is now, without a past and wholly futureless. It is as far removed from time as is a tiny candle from a distant star, or what you choose from what you really want. Heaven remains your one alternative to this strange world you made up and all its ways, its shifting patterns and uncertain goals, its painful pleasures and its tragic joys. God made no contradictions. What denies its own existence and attacks itself is not him. He did not make two minds, with heaven as the glad effect of one, and earth and the other's sorry outcome, which is heaven's opposite in every way. God is love. God is perfect oneness. How could he make two? God does not suffer conflict, nor is his creation split in two. How could it be his son could be in hell when God himself established him in heaven? Could he lose what the eternal will has given him to be his home forever? Let us not try longer to impose an alien will upon God's single purpose. He is here because he wills to be, and what he wills is present now, beyond the reach of time. Today we will not choose a paradox in place of truth. How could the Son of God make time to take away the will of God? He thus denies himself and contradicts what has no opposite. He thinks he made a hell, opposing heaven, and believes that he abides in what does not exist, while heaven is the place he cannot find. Yeah, and so we believe we're kind of stuck in this limbo, this thing called life. And if we do good deeds and do God's will instead of just joining God's will, if we project onto God what we think he will like and even do his dirty work, you know, don't worry, God, I'll take care of that evildoer. If we do the dirty work, then we'll get on God's side and win his approval so that when we die, we may land in heaven. Okay? Or we take the position, if I don't do this, if I don't do things right here, and I don't earn God's approval, then I'm going to end up in hell after I die. Right? What a trap. It's a total trap. If it ain't heaven, it's hell. That's all there is to it. And I find this very helpful. No matter how much uh, success I'm having in the world, I remind myself, this is hell. This is not heaven. The closest thing we can do is join in the miracle, which is joining in the thought of God and letting the light come through. And that is the miracle. It's a mirror of heaven coming through. That is just pure joy. It's pure light. And it's that practice and that ongoing um, desire and dedication that keeps the light shining and keeps our path lit and guided in all we do. Leave foolish thoughts like these behind and turn your mind to true ideas instead. And let the world go. Go to these true ideas instead. No one can fail who seeks to reach the truth, and it is truth we seek to reach today. We will devote 10 minutes to this goal 3 times today, so 30 minutes total out of 24 hours, and we will ask to see the rising of the real world to replace the foolish images that we hold dear, with true ideas arising in the place of thoughts that have no meaning, no effect, and neither source nor substance in the truth. So the Course asks us to practice these little tiny chunks of time. And if we do these little chunks of time consistently, then they start getting linked together. And the whole idea is to drop into miracle mindedness often, frequently, and stay there. Why wait for heaven? This we acknowledge as we start upon our practice periods. Begin with this. I ask to see a different world and think a different kind of thought from those I made. The world I seek I did not make alone. The thoughts I want to think are not my own. For several minutes, watch your mind and see, although your eyes are closed, the senseless world you think is real. Review the thoughts as well which are compatible with such a world and which you think are true. Then let them go and sink below them to the holy place where they cannot enter. There is a door beneath them in your mind, which you could not completely lock to hide what lies beyond. Seek for that door and find it. Okay, so this is why we a lot of if you look at art history, there's often a halo or a light above the the enlightened ones or the holy ones. So there's this feeling of upness, there's this feeling of lightness or light as we go deep. It's kind of like going down a rabbit hole. We got to go down through the perception, the emotions, the thoughts, and the beliefs. We got to get down to the doorway, which is the desire, the core desire for unity or separation. And as we unwind our patterns and our thoughts and our beliefs that work against us, we find that door and it starts to crack open. And the more it cracks open, the more light comes in. We slip into the flow. Seek for that door and find it. But before you try to open it, remind yourself, no one can fail who seeks to reach the truth. And it is this request you make today. Nothing but this has any meaning now. No other goal is valued now nor sought. Nothing before this door you really want, and only what lies past it do you seek. So I had this idea that all worldly goals, like let's just say you want a new car. Let's say you need a new car. Let it be a fuzzy goal. Just let it be a fuzzy goal. Yeah, I'd like a new car, but I don't necessarily ask God for a car because God doesn't really even know I'm here. God's just going to shine the light in, the miracle light that's going to give me exactly what I need with the goal of uniting with Him in heaven. So I say, okay, I'd like a car, I kind of need a car, but I'm not going to let it take my primary goal of peace away. Peace is what I want. Heaven is what I want above all else. So you have these fuzzy goals that may kind of dance around a little bit, but we don't harden them because the last thing in the world you would want is to harden your goal, and you end up with a you know with a 1995 Chevy Chevette when God had a Tesla planned out for you, right? So we don't we don't want to get in the way of it. Or maybe it's the other way around. You think you need a brand new fancy car, but really it's this older one, this used one that's over here that's going to put you in the right connection, and you're going to meet the right person for all kinds of miracle things to happen. So we want to slip into that guidance. And that only comes by letting peace or heaven be the primary goal. Put out your hand and see how easily the door swings open with your one intent to go beyond it. there's no there's no lock on that door. It's got a beautiful handle and it is just waiting to open. Angels light the way so that all darkness vanishes, and you are standing in a light so bright and clear that you can understand all things you see. See, here's the answer to all of our questions. The light, the love, and the peace answers everything. You'll stop asking questions when this light comes. And there's really no need to ask any questions in the first place. Just say, I want the truth. A tiny moment of surprise, perhaps, will make you pause before you realize the world you see before you in the light reflects the truth you knew. You already knew it and did not quite forget in wandering away in dreams. You cannot fail today. There walks with you the Spirit heaven sent you, that you might approach this door someday and through his aid slip effortlessly past it to the light. Today, that day has come. Today, God keeps his ancient promise to his only Son, as does his Son remember his to him. This is the father-son relationship. Perfect mutual love. This is a day of gladness, for we come to the appointed time and place where you will find the goal of all your searching here and all the seeking of the world, which end together as you pass beyond the door. Remember often that today should be a time of special gladness and refrain from dismal thoughts and meaningless laments. Salvation's time has come. Today is set by heaven itself to be a time of grace for you and for the world. If you forget this happy fact, remind yourself with this. Close your eyes with me and go to the deepest part of your heart and mind and take in these words. Take in these words. Today, I seek and find all that I want. My single purpose offers it to me. No one can fail who seeks to reach the truth. That is true hope. All other hope is hopeless. That is true hope. Lesson number 131. No one can fail who seeks to reach the truth. Thank you so much for joining me here. Namaste.